In August 1996, Congo entered a civil war. The conflict that drew in many neighboring countries and different militia groups left over 3.5 million civilians dead and many more maimed and stunted. For many, the difference between life and death was no longer so distinct. But some managed to escape and start a new life, leaving everything behind in the hope of finding a new home and building a better future for themselves and their families. This is the story of one of them, Dale Barabagabo.
They started to kill some of our people. We were leaving everything behind. We don't know anything. We don't know nobody there. My name is Dale Barabagabo. I am a student at Towson University. I was born in 1997 in the Democratic Republic of Congo, known as DRC. I am from a tribe known as Banyamulenge. Banyamulenge is a minority tribe located in the high plateau of South Kivu in the eastern of the Congo. In 1996, there was a civil war in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The war was happening in the entire country that time. 2 years later, the war turned against the Banyamulenge tribe. The government's reason of being against this minority tribe was because we were speaking the language that was not the same as the rest of the population in the Congo. For that reason, they wanted to kill everyone from that tribe, to eliminate the whole tribe. During that time, we decided to move from the Congo because of the war, because we didn't want to stay there. Otherwise, we could have been killed like how others were killed. Me and my 10 siblings, alongside my parents, we decided to move to a neighbor country, and the only closest country was Burundi. I remember during the time where we were traveling, crossing the rivers to Burundi. It was really tough. It was a really hard time. I can't even describe how hard it was, because we were thinking how we are leaving everything behind. All the things that we had built for our lives, cows, and all the stuff that we had. We were leaving everything behind and going to this new country where we don't know anything. We don't know nobody there. We don't know what's waiting for us in that new place. But we did not have a choice. We couldn't choose to stay there and die, but rather we decided to run for our lives to that neighbor country. When we got to Burundi, this was a new country to us, me, my family, and the other people that came along with us. We didn't know where to go, but there was an organization known as UNHCR, which stands for United Nations Agency. This is where you always go to report when you get to a new country and you don't know where to go and you don't know what to do. We had to go and report it to the UNHCR. They helped us settle in the new country. They took us to this province in Burundi known as Cibitoke in a refugee camp called Chishemere Refugee Camp. We lived there for about 2 years. We had nothing as a living, but this UNHCR organization were able to provide some of the stuff that we needed to live, stuff like food or where to live. They provided us houses built in tents. That's where the kind of houses we lived in during that time. And they were also able to provide food such as beans, corn flour known as fufu, some soap, washing soaps, salts, and that was the few of the things that were provided to us as a living. After 2 years living in that refugee camp, we were moved to another province known as Mwaro, and the camp was called Gihinga Refugee Camp. There was nothing that changed in terms of what we had in the first refugee camp. Everything was the same. Everything that were provided to us in the first camp was the same. The only thing that changed in the second refugee camp is that school was provided to us. I remember that's where I started my primary school education. The education was not good because we did not have experienced teachers, because teachers or professors were coming from our people, and we did not have people who are educated enough to teach the children. But we did not have any other choice rather than just take what we had. When we were like in the very last grade of primary education, there was a national test that we were supposed to be taking, and whoever was able to score the highest grade on that national test was able to be given a scholarship to go and continue their education in a city called Bujumbura, which is a capital of Burundi. I was one of the students that was able to pass the test with higher grades, me and my brother, and we were then transferred to Bujumbura city to continue our high school there. In 2015, I was in 12th grade of high school in the Congolese embassy in Bujumbura. I remember this is when our case was chosen to be resettled to the United States. The reason behind this resettlement was because we were not able to go back to our country, and Burundi could not let us stay forever because it was kind of a temporary stay where this UNHCR organization is trying to find a permanent place for us, like any country that was willing to take us. I remember this time I was in the classroom and my brother came and knocked at the door, and he interrupted the professor saying that he wanted to talk to me. I went outside to meet my brother, and then he told me that, you know what, we only have 2 days to go back to the refugee camp and start the interview process. I remember it was so exciting. I just started laughing with joy in my heart, knowing that is this really true that we are going to America? Because for us, going to America was something that we could not even dream of, because we only used to see America, United States, in movies, and like we couldn't see it happening for us to be in this great country. I couldn't believe that it was happening. But when my brother told me that, I went back and took my stuff and just told my professor that I am leaving for an emergency. I did not even say what it was about. We had to go to the refugee camp because the interview process was happening in the refugee camp. We did all the interview, and the only reason of the doing interviews, it was because the American people wanted to make sure we are the right people that they wanted to take. So that's why we had to go through a lot of interviews. The whole process took almost a year, because we had to do interviews, background check, and screenings. We did all that in the refugee camp. But the only thing that we had to go back to the city to complete was the medical and the screenings. We were then, after a few months, we were taken to the Bujumbura city again to complete the medical and the screenings. We went there and then we did it, and then that was the same day that they gave us the day that we would be able to fly to the United States. When I got to the United States, I remember I was 19 years old that time, but I came with an incomplete high school because I was able to do my high school back in the country, but did not get a chance to graduate. So for me to get admitted into college here in America, it was not easy because I did not have a high school diploma nor a GED. So I had to find a high school diploma or a GED in order for me to get admitted to a college. I tried to few schools in Florida, to few high schools, and I did not get a chance to get admitted to none of those because they were saying that I am old, like my age is not allowed for me to go to be admitted to a high school. But I had a few of my friends that we came at the same time and we were the same age, but they were living in another state of Maryland, in Baltimore. And when I talked to them, they told me that they are in high school. And I was so surprised. I was like, why are you guys in high school when I'm not and we are the same age? And I told them the story that I was not able to go to high school because I was old. But they told me, but here in Maryland, you can go to high school even if you are 19, even if you have 20. And then I made a decision to move from Florida to Baltimore simply because of education, because the only thing that was in my heart was to get admitted to college so I can continue pursuing my dreams. Then I decided to move to Maryland to go and see if I can get admitted to one of the high schools there. I went there and I tried a few high schools, and the very first one that I tried, I got admitted. It's called Dundas High School, located in the Maryland area of Baltimore. I did 1 year because of my age. I did a senior year in high school at Dundas. I graduated in 2017 with a high school diploma that I was looking for in order to continue my college education. After graduation, I did not take any gap year. I straight went to a community college called CCBC, which is a community college of Baltimore County. When I started the college journey, it wasn't easy for me because, first of all, I did not know what I wanted to study, what I want to go for. But I said, let me just give it a shot. In one of the major that I was thinking was electrical engineering. I tried one semester in the electrical engineering. So after doing one semester, like looking at the performance of my grades and stuff, I saw that this was not my area. Then I decided to change a major. But before I did that, I had to talk to some of the advisors at college, at the community college. They were asking me questions like, what do you like in life? What do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm like, so the only thing that I told them, I was like, I want to do something that where math is not involved a lot, because I don't like math, and like I don't do good at math. So they told me, like, they asked me if I like computers, and I was like, based on my background, I don't have any computer background, but I like computers. And then they advised me to try into information technology. Then I decided to pursue IT major, information technology, at Community College of Baltimore County. I did that for 2 years, and I graduated with an associate degree at the CCBC. After earning my associate degree at CCBC, I then decided to apply at a 4-year university, and I applied at one of the university here in Maryland, which is Towson University, which was one of the university that I wanted to attend. And I applied, and I got accepted as a transfer student with a full scholarship based on my GPA. And now I am pursuing my bachelor's degree in information technology here at Towson University. I just want to share with you one of the Bible verses that I have been leaning on for my entire life. It is in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, which goes like this in my local native language. Zibyo nibwira kubagirira si bibi ahubwo ni byiza nukubaremera ibyiringiro n'akazoza. Which means in English, I know the plan that I have for you. It's not the plan to harm you, but to give you a future and a hope. Now, I want you guys to take comfort in this word of God that I just shared with you. I want you to know that God's promise might not happen to the timing that you want it to happen. He might not rescue you in the time that you want Him to show up. But I want you to keep in mind and rest assured that on His own timing, He will always show up and give you hope and give you a better future like He did for me. Today I want to encourage young people out there like me to keep working hard regardless of the hardship and suffering you are going through, based on where you are in Africa, here in America, wherever in the world. I just want you to keep working hard and never lose hope. I want you to realize that you being in this country, in this great country, is already the fulfillment of God's word to give you a hope, to give you a better future. Because being in this country, being in America, is already a better future you have. Because you have everything that it's going to take for you to have a better future. It's just going to ask you to work for it. Because you have all the resources. And that's what God has already done for you. This is His promises coming to pass. So it's up to you on how you play the ball. So I just want to thank God for what He has done for me. And also, I want to take this time to thank America for this opportunity of education that He has given to people like us who comes from different countries in Africa. I also want to thank the organization that I work for called The Voice. It has been a really great organization that has been helping me in all the areas of my life to grow. And I just want to take this time to thank The Voice, and especially Sartre, who is the president of this great organization. I'm so grateful to be a part of this team. Thank you very much.